now I want to talk about a man. We talked about him on Why You Laughing this week. I didn't expect to talk about him on this show because I kind of thought he passed away in radio terms. The great Ron Bennington, who I love very much, but like his new show is kind of like just faded away. Even like on Tuesdays with Stories, Joe List will reference Ron Bennington a lot. Like I think Ron hosted something for Joe's movie or something. And every time Ron's name comes up, Norman goes, "He's still alive?" Which is very funny to me because it's unfortunately true that like no one even knows that radio show is still on. And when I've heard Ron, he sounded older in the past. So I thought like maybe he was just drifting away. And then I watched because he was on Sword Fight with Jim and Nikki Norton. And I said, oh, Ron is back in his element. The man lives and thrives because he is still a carnival barker at heart. And when he sees a character, he knows how to pull the marionette string. So I thought this was great, him with Jimmy and his wife. I like Nikki Norton. I like the show they do together. I was a little worried about Jim at first. Remember we played a clip like last year?
Yeah, and he was like acting fake or
It seemed like he was doing like a Bravo show.
Yeah.
So I was a little worried about him. He got it. He figured it out. He's gotten it together where they do a show. They're a married couple, but like they bitch about each other and he makes fun of her. You forget she's from another country because her English is so good. So she'll say stuff that sounds very dumb, and he's good at making fun of her and all that. So I kind of like their show together. I thought they did a good job with Kumia a couple weeks ago, and Ron Bennington was now on. So I checked it out, and Ronnie B's still got his fastball when he wants to whip it out.
DNA. Well, my grandmother does a lot of DNA. I'm 100% Norwegian.
I bet you are.
And her grandmother was a witch. What was he?
She was burned on the fire. My great grandmother.
Now,
burn alive.
Are you? Do you connect with the Wiccan stuff?
Oh, all of these Nordic roots. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
My wife is a witch, and she practices all of that, and my daughter is too. But you know they're not
witchcraft.
Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah, both of them are witches, and but more of probably the Italian background. But she connects to Celtic. She connects to. Nikki's part of the world too, because that was all the religion before. I mean, all that stuff is older than Christianity.
What do witches do?
Exactly. But they kind of live with the seasons. They go to, nature first, right?
Very similar countries, Scotland, Ireland, Norway.
Yeah.
All that.
But it's not like black
Celtics
magic
and
shit.
the
It's different than that. The witch stuff.
Sure. That's what you need to hear?
Ron so seamlessly is like, all right, I'm going to play along with this. My wife's a witch. Some Italian. So
is that what you need to hear? Very funny.
So he's like, so he goes through the rest of this interview, and I think he sees the dynamic. And this is what great radio instincts Ron Bennington has. He knows the dynamic between Jim and Nikki, where Norton says this all the time. Jim essentially married Chip. She is Chip Chipperson. Like, she doesn't pick up on a lot of jokes and kind of says kind of dumb stuff a lot. And Ron picks up on that and says, I imagine most guests would probably pile on her with Jim. I'll do the exact opposite and talk about how I'm totally picking up what she's putting down. Ron also, another example of what a great interviewer he is like he now takes over from here. Where he's interviewing them about their marriage.
Which is probably fun for him.
Yeah.
So you go back how many generations with knowing that they were witches?
Oh, this is like many generations.
Right.
Like my grandmother wasn't a witch.
Yeah.
Or my great grandmother wasn't a witch. She was a psychic though.
Now, so you have to go back further because they got pulled out of it from modern times.
I think this is like in the 1600s, or is it maybe even in the 1300s?
Ron being brilliant. He's like, I'm going to circle back to that later. I'm not going to act shocked that you just said I'm a psychic, but he's like, I'm going to stick on the witch stuff, and we'll circle back to the psychic stuff later. That's what a pro he is.
Yeah.
There wasn't a witch. She was a psychic though.
Now, so you have to go back further because they got pulled out of it from modern times.
I think this is like in the 1600s, or is it maybe even in the 1300s? I don't know. Very long ago.
And probably even back before that, it's just places you can't even trace
But
it.
if you saw pictures from my photo albums at home of my family and my great grandmothers and the houses, you would get goosebumps because you respect it and you would recognize that this is like the real
The
deal.
real thing, yeah.
From the deep woods.
Yeah.
I don't believe the psychic stuff. I just don't buy it.
No, they
Norton's
were
disgusted.
psychics. I have a little bit of psychicness.
You don't.
Give me a psychic thing that you've had before.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Hold on. Bennington just steamrolls. And Norton goes, you don't. And Ron goes, give me an exit. Come on, let's go. Let's hear it. I know you've got some.
We need to get Bennington back with a broadcaster.
I know, we talked to Tukey about it, and this might have been off air. We were talking about it, but he's like, I think Ron just wanted to kind of establish his daughter as a broadcaster, so she had a career when he left. Like, he's being a good dad, basically, but not a great broadcaster necessarily. This is who he needed to be with. People he can puppet master, you know?
Yeah.
He's always been a carnival barker. That's what made him so great with Fez. And this is what he needed, is like just picking apart at something in their marriage that you know they bicker about.
He has this in one of his jokes. This is the funniest thing. So when I was like 9, I was at this rehab because my dad went to rehab, and I visited him there at the rehab, and there was this lady there. So as a 9-year-old, I had this weird memory of this lady, but I don't know why. Like, she was just crazy. And I was with my friend. This was like when I was 16. And I went to her when we went to school together. So we went to, I don't know to her apartment, like her dorm or college place or whatever. And out of the blue, I just start talking about this lady that I saw at the rehab facility when I was 9.
Yeah.
And for no reason. Like, there was no point. And literally, as I'm talking about that and I lose track of my thought, I look behind me and she's right there. I'm not even joking.
Wow.
I literally got goosebumps, shivers, and I told my friend, that's her. And she was all confused, and she's like, what? That's the lady from the rehab facility. It was like a reverse deja vu.
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Here's the thing.
I'm not kidding.
No.
It's true
You
story.
can look into Nikki's eyes and not only see that it's true, but you can also look into her eyes and see the past that she's talking about. And here's the thing about Nikki, she keeps the past right here. You know what I mean? She carries those souls with her.
I do.
You can see that.
It's true.
But I don't see
Norton
anything.
knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh yeah, yeah. And meanwhile,
He can't
Nikki's
call it out.
yeah. Meanwhile, Nikki's like, "Oh my god, thank you."
She's like, for the first time in my life, I've connected with someone who gets me.
First time I'm being heard.
Thank you so much, Ron Bennington. And Norton's like, yeah, I know what you're doing. You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But that's how good Ron is at that type of delivery. Is he said one word and we both laughed. He just goes, wow. And we both laughed at that. And that's how good his delivery and timing is with that stuff.
Yeah.
That with you, Jim.
Oh,
Yeah. This is the next clip here.
he goes, I'm not seeing that with you, Jim. We talked over it a little bit. But
Yeah.
see, I'm not picking up on the same spirits with you, Jim.
He's perfect.
And there's more personal things that I could say. Certain dates. Like, you know, I was born on 28th of June,
Right.
1997. My great-grandmother died 28th of June, 1998. And my cousin was born 28th of June, 1996. So there's 3.
All right there in that time.
And my grandfather passed away on 27th of June. But if you look at that in the time zone in China, that would be...
Jim's face was just utter disgust.
I'll give her credit. She does laugh a little. I think she knows it is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
But she's definitely believing it.
Oh yeah.
28th of fucking June.
In China.
Wow.
Tell me it's not weird.
It's very weird.
Had he been to China many times?
I'm just saying the time zone in the U. Just
The
because,
thing is, there's
just
different
because,
time zones.
just
I
because
think.
the time zone in Norway,
That's true.
Right, that doesn't make
it's
it
the
that
same
time.
portal.
But it's the same moment.
Time.
Right.
In China.
I get goosebumps just from talking about
I
this. It's
got
crazy.
goosebumps right now, but you don't, Jimmy? You're not picking up on this?
I'll be honest, I'm devoid of goosebumps. I do not have
Can you tell this to your family who are witches too? Because they will understand.
It was just good to see that Jim too. where like I don't listen to Jim and Sam anymore at all, really. Like it's good to hear Norton still the way he was. Like Bennington and Norton. This was very nostalgic for me to hear them interact like this.
Yeah.
I'm devoid of goosebumps.
I love Ron Bennington.
Well, I don't blame you. I mean, you and I connect in a way that I don't think Jimmy connects with either one of
We
us.
also kind of have the same eyes. Are you German or Irish?
I'm a lot of those things.
I can tell.
It'd be great if Bennington stole Norton's wife. He's just hitting on her and her or whatever.
If Bennington was committed, he would just start sending her texts in the middle of the night that Jim definitely sees.
They are very funny. Like, there was something they were talking about. Oh, a dog. I think it comes up in one of these clips. She was talking about like wanting to get a little teacup dog or something like that.
Of course.
And Norton goes, "How big of homos do you want us to look like?" So he's still very good with like. I thought like I said, it seemed like he was doing like a Bravo show on YouTube. I was worried. He's figured it out. You know what I mean? Like he knows how to play around with it.
Well, I think that was the initial plan, was to get something like that when they first launched.
I think that would be a mistake, but I don't know.
Unless he did, like when he was on that Ghost Hunter show. Did you ever see that?
Yes, he did. Edgar.
Yeah. he just made up the whole story. If he did that, but on Bravo and somehow pulled the wool over everyone,
Right.
then it'd be fun.
And it is interesting. Like Norton is the first like LGBT, like as far as like the trans community, Norton is a trailblazer and doesn't get credit for that because like people would see him. Well, we just heard Jeselnik with Marin last week talk about Opie and Anthony like it was this alt-right Nazi show.
Yeah, their best friend.
That was one guy's Twitter.
Yeah.
You know?
And that was later on.
Yeah.
Not a pureblood the way you are,
Right.
but
I'm also a nationalist.
you are.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the thing. No, Norway didn't pick a side in World War II, right?
We got invaded by the Nazis.
Yeah, they didn't have much
Nazis.
of a choice.
Invaded or
Invaded.
invited? Which was it?
You can tell Ron's having fun because he doesn't get to do this anymore. It is just nice to see.
His daughter doesn't have the back and forth he's looking for.
I guess not. Yeah, I found her. I used to listen a little bit. I found her fun. I didn't find her unfunny. Like it didn't, encourage me to listen every day or anything like that. But like I thought she was fine. But when I was talking to Tukey about it, I guess she got very political.
Yep.
Like into the Trump administration, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that probably turned people off. But yeah, I don't know. I don't mind Gail Bennington.
Why Are You Laughing episode out right now with Tukey.
Yes,
Run and
check it
Fez
out.
producers.
I love Switzerland, but it's a second on my list of most beautiful countries in the world. Norway really number one. It's not even. Someone in the comments can't even tell me there's a prettier place than Norway.
You know
Jersey.
Jersey's got a lot.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Jim. If you went to Norway, you did a podcast out of there. If you guys just lived for 5-10 years, you do a podcast out
Why
of
are you
there.
laughing?
Norton knows exactly what he's doing right now.
You son of a bitch. He goes, even if you go for 5-10 years, like that would be like an easy run.
Yeah.
5-10 years as a casual.
You open up a club. Estee's booking it for you.
I
She's
love
sending
that.
people over. You guys would have the greatest life there.
Do you know that that's my dream? And I'm not even joking. Like it could be 5 months a year, and it would be
Yes.
enough.
She wants me to get a cabin in Norway.
do.
But I don't really want to
Got
do that.
Dude,
I think he has to for my own sanity because I'll never feel fulfilled if I don't get that in my life.
if you give her 5 months a year and you have Taffy with you,
Oh,
and who
Ron.
knows,
Oh my
maybe
God.
a little baby somewhere along the way, something.
How?
You know,
I want to adopt. I feel like you know me, and I haven't met you before.
and you know that's it's your energy. If I'm being 100%, you give off the energy. But if you do this, you adopt. I mean, like, what would be the perfect? Would it have to be a baby or?
No. Oh my God. That's exactly it. I don't want a baby.
Right.
I want someone who can just go to school already.
That would be great.
Yeah, then what are we doing? Like meaning, why would we have someone who's just going to go to
Because
school?
they would be from a poor place in China, let's say.
Yeah.
And I want a girl.
China would that thing with your grandpa.
China.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That
I
might
know.
be.
It's almost like she doesn't know Jim at all.
the thing with your he brought back the
Yeah.
China time zone that
Yeah.
made no sense. He's like, perfect. That brings it all together. You adopt a baby from China as you were meant to.
Great View was like, I'm getting goosebumps again.
Full
Oh
circle.
my God.
What if you adopted on that day? The day, the magic
Ron,
day in
you're
your
starting
life.
to scare me.
Yeah,
On the 27th,
yeah.
which would be the 28th
Would
in
be
China.
the in China. You get a
You
little.
know what? That's
yeah.
probably what's just going to naturally happen. Because
Dude.
I'm not going to die without a child. I won't do it.
You don't want her to live forever, do you?
No, I certainly don't. I
Is
certainly don't.
this the stuff that you've been thinking about too, Jimmy?
No, it's not. I mean, dreading. I'm not the child. No,
He knows it's my dreams.
She knows I won't do a child.
The whole reason that you got married is to make every dream that Nikki had come true.
What an asshole.
That's the thing. And you know this from your own sobriety. It's being in service.
Sure.
That's the fulfillment that you get in life.
Sure.
And you come home, you see her with Taffy, the little Chinese. I don't know, you want a boy or a girl? What do you think?
Girl.
Little Chinese girl, which, who knows,
Norton's
in
just
another
dying.
10, 15 years might be even appealing to you.
She'd go to private school.
Yeah.
You laugh.
Private school.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to
You'll
spend that
love
kind
it.
of money.
But you have the money.
You
No,
got the
I
money.
know, but I don't know what
dude.
I'm going to do with my contract. Who knows? We're almost done.
You know what? Here's the
Still, we can
thing.
afford
Money.
it.
Yeah, you got nothing but money. And,
You got nothing but money.
but you got to find this thing of a full life.
It's
Full
true.
life.
It feels pretty full.
I don't feel full.
No, Nikki's not full.
What a piece of shit. It's so great because Ron Bennington walked out and Nikki Norton was like, I've never met a greater man in my life.
Yeah.
And Jim Norton was like, what a piece of shit. That just dropped a grenade that is going to go off at home, maybe 6 days from now,
Oh, yeah.
where she's going to be like, Ron understood.
Do you remember the China timeline?
And Ron just walks out like the Dark Knight. He did his job.
Yeah.
So that was so beautiful to see. Because like I said, when I've heard Ron, well, you said he looks a lot older.
Yeah.
And he sounds even like, and he didn't hear really, but when I've heard him, like he sounds a little older, like he lost a step maybe. So I just kind of thought like, yeah, you know, maybe without Fez, like he's just kind of easing into retirement, letting his daughter have a show basically, and drifting off into the sunset. But then when I heard this, I was like, oh, he's still got every bit of muscle that he had before.
It just depends on what's around him.
Exactly. Yeah, the chess pieces he has to play with.
She is right about a lot of things. I would say this about Nikki. She's right about a lot. You were right about the Ukraine war dragging. I said it was going to be 6 months. And she's
When
like,
the
it's gonna
war
go on.
started, I told Jim this is going to last way longer than anyone thinks. And this is in the beginning. It's not going to stop almost.
No.
And he goes, this is going to last 2 months.
3 years ago, she said Trump is going to be president again.
I did say that.
And she was saying it a lot. She's like, he's going to get reelected. And she called Meghan Markle.
Before anyone else
Right.
did.
Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing. And then you don't think that she has psychic abilities? I mean, she's doing those things that were long shots.
And there's a lot more. I wish
Yeah.
I wrote everything down because then I could just tell you and it would be crazy.
There's also a lot
more.
wrong there, too. Like, there's a lot you've gotten wrong.
Not really.
I don't think so.
Not
Here's
really.
the thing, Jimmy. You
Hold
should
on.
write.
Ron hasn't heard. He goes, I don't think so.
By the way, guys, this is just a Ron Bennington appreciation segment.
Was that the end of that?
No, it's still going.
Oh yeah.
down these thoughts that she has.
I probably
you keep
should.
a ledger and just write everything down. It would be nice. And then we could, get back and we're like, Jesus Christ, that one too. That one after that.
She loves to be right.
Yeah.
And we all love to be right, but
That's
she
true.
loves
Yeah.
to be right. And
Yeah.
I give you credit when you're right. You're right about a lot of
But
stuff.
here's the thing.
Thank you.
Now you can make everything right for her. You know what I mean?
No, the dog, I think, will do it.
It's one
Taffy?
step in the right direction.
Stop calling it the dog, Jimmy. You gotta
Taffy.
start to love Taffy.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta love Taffy. You gotta love the little Chinese daughter. You gotta love your cabin.
He's
You
made it
gotta
a
love
daughter
your
now.
comedy club, which is also should be a cabin.
He could
You know,
start a comedy club
Yeah,
in
he
Norton.
I know,
Start
like
when
Jake
you know.
LaMotta did in Miami.
Norton running a club in Norway.
Beautiful Raging Bull reference.
Fuck my wife. Oh, what did you, yeah, you're right. It was just a Ron Bennington. There was no news. It was just a Ron Bennington appreciation. I guess the news was Ron is still alive.
He's still alive and hilarious.
Yes.
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Krager's did it.